Today I wanted to show off one of the newest Paradox Pokemon that I actually haven't shown off on the channel just yet, being none other than Iron Boulder. This is a team that managed to do pretty well at the recent regional event. So if you guys enjoy and want to see more content like this, of course, like and subscribe for more. And I'm going to leave a rental, of course, at the end of the team builder section, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But with that said, of course, let's start off for none other than our star of the show today, being Iron Boulder, with the Tera rock typing to help boost our damage from Mighty Cleave, which is going to be our primary stab of choice here. With Mighty Cleave, Zen Headbutt, and Sacred Sword, we get some pretty well-rounded coverage for most of the metagame, and with the speed investment that we have on this, we should be creeping all the way up to Roaring Moon in case it's an attack booster set over speed, giving us a really strong matchup into most opponents, because you would need essentially like a Flutter main, an Iron Bundle, or some sort of booster speed Pokemon to truly outpace this. Overall, this should be a pretty terrifying wall breaker, especially since Mighty Cleave will get around Protect shenanigans, making sure that with our next Pokemon that will be fake outing a lot, we can really try and force opponents to overprotect and then suffer anyway. Our fake out user of choice today is going to be Iron Hands, which I know has fallen off a bit in the metagame, but I think it does fit a bit better with the team that we're rocking with. And with an Assault Vest set, this should do a lot against most opponents, especially with Tera Grass being a great defensive typing here. With Wild Charge, Drain Punch, Heavy Slam, and Fake Out, this brews match up really well into a lot of common Pokemon, and it gives us a nice check to Blood Moon, which this team did lack a lot of otherwise. With our speed, we should be creeping a lot of common slower Pokemon, like a low speed Incineroar, for example. And with the 76 attack, we do hit a nice attack bump here, with the rest of our investment mostly biasing towards the special defensive side. This should overall give us a lot of really good fake out pressure, which in tandem with Boulder should hopefully give us the opportunity to just Mighty Cleave through protect targets anyway. And with our next Pokemon team being a great cleaner for us, we have none other than a booster special attack Flutter main. Now this spread has a really high Phys investment, and I'm not sure what it's for, but I know the speed at least should be creeping all the genies, and the special attack of course will just be ensuring that we do hit the minimum requirement for a booster special attack. With dual fairy option as well as Shadow Ball, this should be a pretty prolific option as far as breaking, and Tera Fairy will only help with that even further. We'll be able to kill a lot of the dark types that might pressure us otherwise, and it should overall just be a really big nuisance for most players. Moving on, we do have none other than Entei here, which is going to be an incredible choice band Tera Normal wall breaker here. With Sacred Fire, Stomping Tantrum, E-Speed, and Flare Blitz, this will break past most common Pokemon that will give us pressure, especially bulky grasses like a Moongus, and we can overall just try and really punish most opponents. I'm not sure what the Phys Def investment is for on this. The 20 Phys Def feels highly specific for some sort of role, but overall this should still be an incredible option, and with the 134 speed we'll be creeping a lot of lower speed based 70s, or really anything that might overall be investing around like the low 130 benchmark. This should prove to be a really big nuisance, especially with our next Pokemon being none other than Ogerpon, which gives us not only a really bulky water type, but also an incredible grass type on the field. With Ivy Cudgel, Hornleech, Follow Me, and Spiky Shield, this should enable a lot of our other physical wall breakers to really do some damage, and Ivy Cudgel is going to be a great way to punish a lot of different ground types. Meanwhile, the Hornleech will be great at punishing a lot of the waters that might be able to punish my Iron Boulder and Entei combination. This proves to be a really nice physical offensive core, and I feel like the tandem of these should overall be able to just put up a lot of pressure against most teams, especially the slower teams that are starting to pop up. And for fast teams, I still have a lot of things like fake out pressure as well as priority from Entei and our next Pokemon that should leave us just fine. Speaking of, our final Pokemon on the team is going to be none other than a Focus Sash Chien-Pao, with Haze, Sucker Punch, Ice Spinner, and Protect. Now, Haze definitely is a bit of a weird move, at least in terms of Chien-Pao's typical fashion, but helps a lot better against the current best Phys Def booster being none other than Tera Fairy Archaludon. So making sure that we have a way to instantly clear that sort of Phys Def boost is going to be very important, because without it, this team actually has a terrible matchup into Archaludon here. With our max speed and max attack, this should be a really good wall breaker, and it's going to overall deal a lot of damage to opponents without having to worry about being outpaced by them without a booster speed. And overall, it does give this team a lot of really much needed support, as well as just a really nice offensive backbone. If you guys want to try the team out yourselves, the rental code is going to be on screen here, as well as with the paste version in the description below. And with that said, let's get right into today's battles.
All right, we're here. We're starting off February with fucking Moody. That's how we're starting this one, really, guys. We couldn't have found a better archetype. Whatever. Okay, so honestly, I will say Pao Boulder actually does have a pretty good matchup into this. I can haze through thanks to our Chien-Pao set. I also have Iron Boulder, which means that they can't protect around it. So we actually have a pretty decent starting point with this. A lot better than most teams would frankly fare as far as teams that we could be featuring right now. We're going to throw on Ogerpon as well. It's a decent check. I think this Shifu's rapid. I'm pretty sure it's rapid. There shouldn't be a reason they run single. And then we're going to go with Flutterman as last mon. I'm not huge on the Entei here. It's not terrible, but I feel like just Ogerpon and Flutter do its job better, offensively speaking, in terms of like wall breaking. And I don't really need Iron Hands to like fake out pressure against this team. Again, not a terrible Pokemon, but Latias is kind of annoying, and I really don't want to give it more fodder that we're just going to throw at it. So yeah, I'd rather just go with this team. I think that we have a pretty good position in my opinion, but regardless though, it's It's going to be kind of a scary matchup. Not that I'm really afraid of the team. I know what it does, at least. I haven't fought Moody only one time ever in my life. I know how to play this. But it's just annoying in the sense that it's Moody. It's just that it's Moody. We're going to regardless go for Mighty Cleave, though, right into that Alolan Muck. It should be a nice turn 1 play to be making here. And we're just going to go straight for damage. Meanwhile, I'm going to go for Protect on Chien-Pao. If they fake out my Iron Boulder, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm not really too scared. They're actually going to go for Tera immediately. Now, Tera immediately is actually kind of a crazy play. They should really be saving this for a later game threat instead of the fucking Alolan Muck. But Tera Water, I'm very okay with this being their option. They probably anticipated an Icicle Crash. I'm very fine with that if that's really the play they're making here. But it makes no difference to me. It really makes no difference to me because this is a pretty wasted Tera they just burned already. They fake out of my POW. Honestly, pretty predictable. Meanwhile, my Iron Boulder is now going to be able to get off a very intense Mighty Cleave right into that Alolan Muck. I'm really glad I didn't burn Tera because while it could have helped a lot with damage, we wouldn't have killed anyway. And despite the fact that it would have gotten around at least some of the damage here, and I can definitely haze through this to kill still. But it could have been helpful. I don't really think it was necessary, and the fact that it wouldn't have killed this helped a lot. They're going to Moody Boost. They're going to get Special Defense and Speed. That's perfectly fine because Iron Boulder breaks through Protect. So this thing cannot Protect stall, and not only this, but my Haze Chien-Pao will go before my Iron Boulder, which is great because that means I can get rid of this. They're going to go for Follow Me. Sure, they can go for Follow Me. I don't really care. I'm going to Haze through their boosts. So Haze is gone. Perfect. Okay. So they've now lost their evasion. So even if they kill my Iron Boulder, I'm kind of okay with that because we're going to get a Broken Sash on that Smeargle. Meanwhile, they also are going to lose their evasion boost to start at square one with the strategy. So even if I do lose my Boulder here, I'm kind of fine. They're going to go for Minimize again. Again, this is perfectly fine because my play is actually now, well, I wish I had Rock Slide. This is where I hate Boulder because it doesn't have Rock Slide. Like a dual Rock move set with Sacred Sword would have been so amazing if it got Rock Slide. This Mon would go hard. I'd be standing it forever, but nope. Instead, what we have to do now, we have to go for the Mighty Cleave with Tera Rock just to hit the Alolan Muck. We need to hope it hits as well, but we're gonna go for it. And then I need to go for Ice Spinner into Smeargle just to get the kill. I think that with the fear of Minimize, they're not going to keep stocking it. But this is more to get rid of the weakness to Knockoff in case they now try and pick me off. I don't really want to let them have that. So if I miss, I miss, but I'd rather just take out the Smeargle at this point and then just take out the Muck as quickly as possible because then I can completely get them to forfeit. They Protect. Perfect. So they've wasted a turn now by going for Protect, which is objectively huge. They're anticipating that I'm going to attack the Muck, which is fine because I only hit the Muck with the move that goes through Protect. So as long as we hit this turn, we clear through the Moody, and even if I don't, unless a Muck gains like some speed boosts, I really do not care. Because specifically, I need to think about Flamigo gaining them is the big concern here, because Flamigo would actually outpace my team. Muck, though, is just going to die, and this means that my opponent will probably instantly forfeit, because the thing with this team is the second that this lead gets out of hand and gets to actually gain stat boosts, it's a terrifying lead. And if that doesn't happen, though, and we haze through it, we kill both Pokemon at the same time, or we just kill the Muck first entirely, then they now have no out. So that works out really well, and we should pick up the game right here. Because again, my opponent cannot actually do anything at this point. They now have a Flamigo and another Pokemon against my team of Pokemon that outpaces them entirely. I still have a backline even. They've burned Tera against me. They have no out. They have no out. They're going to send in, I think it's Flamigo. That's Latias. Okay, so they brought Latias. That's usually to be expected. It's usually Psych Up Latias. And then, yeah, they have Flamigo as well. Okay, very fair. So, yeah, I'm just going to go for the Mighty Cleave right into that Flamigo, and I'm going to go for the Ice Spinner right into the Latias. They're going to forfeit. I'm kind of okay with that. Battle was canceled. Perfect. Okay. Great way to start off for our first match. We'll see you guys in game number 2. Alright, for our next game of the day, we're taking on a dual Genie team with Ogerpon, Rillaboom, Fluttermane, and Urshifu. I'm leaning towards Rapid. I know they already have a Water type on this team, but I feel like Rapid Fu is really good offensively with like Torn Lando. And also, honestly, Ogerpon could just be here for a support piece. It is, technically speaking, the best support form for Ogerpon. And on a Rain team, you might not really want to run Hearthflame anyway. Was there probably a better redirector? Maybe. Honestly, Ogerpon's not bad. I feel like it's a fine team, yeah. It's a fine team. We're gonna go with Entei Pao. Just aggressively try and take down that Urshifu as quickly as possible. We're gonna go with Wellspring in the back because Wellspring should match up really well into this team offensively at least. And then I feel like the Boulder isn't really a good mon here. I'm going to be honest. This isn't Boulder's game. It's not Boulder's game at all. Fluttermane wouldn't be bad if it was speed boosting this game. I think speed boosting could have had some merit. I don't know how I feel about special attack against this team. It's not terrible, but they have a lot of good defensive Teras, like conceptually, that could match up well. Like the Ogerpon could maybe, the Lando could definitely. I think Hand is my last mon. Actually, I don't know if I like Hand either. I'm gonna go with Fluttermane. I think if I backline Fluttermane, it can do a lot of work here. I just need to take out their own Fluttermane, and I should be good. And I feel like that should be a pretty easy mod to take out with my comp, thankfully. Good luck have fun to my opponent, though. My team will definitely have to bank on Tera Entei, which is fine. And I think among the Boulder, Fluttermane, and Hands combination, the least Tera line of this three, it's technically Boulder, but Boulder, it's just going to match up really badly into a lot of their priority anyway. And the second least mandatory would be the Fluttermane. If I'm bringing Hands, I kind of have to Tera against this team, specifically for like the Lana matchup. They're going to be single strike Fu, actually, which is not bad. It makes the Ogerpon a little bit more justifiable. But it's really good for my team in particular to have to match up for that. Because all this means is that I could Sucker Punch plus Tera Ghost, and then go for a Sacred Fire right into that Urshifu. I'm gonna go for the Sacred Fire. Actually, yeah. So I'm gonna Tera Ghost Sucker Punch just to avoid Fake Out as well from Rillaboom. And I think I can completely eviscerate that Urshifu turn 1. If they switch out, I'm okay. That's really whatever in all honesty. But I think this sort of single strike Urshifu lead in particular is actually a little bit gray to have to Tera Ghost on. I can't lie. Not my brightest moment, but specifically it's this combination of Pokemon that is really terrifying. The Rillaboom plus the Urshifu on lead is really terrifying for this lead, but I'm kind of okay with that. We're gonna get a strong Sacred Fire off. They cannot do a lot around that. We will reveal Tera Ghost, which isn't the most out there thing on POW either. And again, now they're gonna go for Detect here, which means that I can just go for Ice Spinner plus Sacred Fire into the Ogerpon next turn. I can switch out into my own Ogerpon next turn. Or I'm just going to kill the Urshifu. Sucker Punch, perfect. Okay, so that Urshifu is going to be eviscerated here. They might break my Sash. They're going to go for close combat, so they're going to get fucked over by this turn very badly. Which is, honestly, this is huge. This is objectively really huge. I can go right into my Ogerpon, and then I can go for an Ice Crash right, well, an Ice Spinner right into the Ogerpon. That should be an amazing turn right away. I could also Ice Spinner the Rillaboom if it comes back in. That would be a great way to eliminate their priority, which might actually be better even. I'm definitely going to switch out of Entei, though. I cannot afford to take an Ivy Cudgel. This mon is way too important offensively speaking. They're going to go into Landers. Okay, suddenly this mon became a lot less important offensively speaking. Forget all that bullshit I was just talking about. Entei is no longer that important. We're going to instead just go for the attacking what's right in front of me play, because that's way stronger. It is way stronger. Actually, I don't know. I mean, Ogerpon might actually be good. Ogerpon does help with one thing in particular, and it's specifically the, what if they go for Follow Me? So if they go for Follow Me, they're probably picking Sandsear here. And Ogerpon is a pretty good switch into Lando. So I am going to do that, and then I can just file off E-Speeds. It'll be my E-Speed win con instead. I'll remove Terrain anyway, which means that if they're Glide Pond, that I remove that. They're going to go for Protect. Okay. I'm kind of okay with that. My Ogerpon is now on the field, though. This means that they'll have actual choices to make in terms of their offensive play. Their Ogerpon will probably just be breaking my Ogerpon, or trying to do so at least. Yep, they're going to go for Ivy Cudgel into my Ogerpon. Perfect. All right. That's great. So we're still keeping up some nice momentum here. We're going to go for a Horn Leech into their Ogerpon, and I'm going to go for an Ice Spinner into their Landorus. I don't really want to fuck around with Follow Me shenaniganry because it would be really bad for us, actually. By going for Ice Spinner, again, we can remove Terrain. At least if they have Glide Pond, that's the only set that I'd be kind of scared of here. Because, like, SD Glide Pond could, in theory, actually put up some good pressure against my team. I don't really want to let it, because my only check that is Entei, but I use that very loosely. It's only a check if I can E-Speed faster. They're going to Tera the Landorus. That's fine. They probably Tera Poison. I'll still do some really good damage, so I'm not really too concerned here. Like, I can't imagine a world where Ice Spinner doesn't do at least half, and I can definitely put that thing very comfortably in Entei range, which is huge. So Ice Spinner will go off. I'm going to get a nice Grassy Terrain, well, actually no longer Terrain boosted, but still just a nice Horn Leech off. It doesn't look like they went for Follow Me, which is great. They will Sludge Bomb my Ogerpon instead. That's perfectly fine. I'll use my Ogerpon, but in the process, they're going to still leave me at Sash range, and I can dual target their Ogerpon on the following turn, which I'm very fine with. So they will Ivy Cudgel here. That's perfectly okay. Yeah, we're just gonna go right into Entei. I can actually also go into Fluttermane. I'm gonna go into Entei instead though, because I think my goal should be instead to target their
specifically to target their Ogerpon this turn. I feel like that targeting their Ogerpon gives me the best outcome. So we're going to go for an E-Speed here, and we're going to go for an Ice Spinner here. They can't really Tera around it, and if they switch into the Rillaboom, that's fine. We get rid of Rillaboom at least, which is the last mon I probably need my Entei for, because once that's gone, I can just start going for ghost moves with my Flutter main, and just kind of being fun. They're going to go for Follow Me. Perfect. Okay, that's exactly why I went for these combination of moves, so I'm very fine with this. Because my goal is just to take out this motherfucker. Yeah, they're very much letting me kill the Ogerpon here. Which is great. That gives me a lot more mileage out of my endgame Pokemon, whether that's Entei, whether that's Urshifu, whether that's Shampoo, whether it's Flutterman. I mean, it gets me a lot of mileage against everything. They're going to Stance here because, of course, anyone who's not me can hit that move against both targets. Completely biased, honestly. It's super fucked up. They're very much against me winning games, and I don't like it. But that's fine. That's fine. I could have maybe tried to protect around it. I don't really think I gained a lot, though, frankly. And getting rid of Ogerpon, I think, was the better call. So we are going to bring in the Flutter main here, and I'm going to proceed to just go for a Protect this turn, followed by what will most likely end up being a Dazzling Gleam. I feel like Dazzling Gleam is kind of my only play, because I need the damage on Rillaboom. I don't even know if it'll matter, frankly, but we are very Fizz Death. I'm going to kind of hope it does, especially if I could stall out with Grassy Terrain Recovery. I think it might hopefully make a difference. I just need to see how much damage I can do to Landorus. So we're Proto Special Attack. Let's see. So Special Attack with 76, going for Dazzling Gleam against Tera Poison. Oh my god, that does nothing. That does so little damage. It's hysterically bad. They can't go for Fake Out. I'm gonna go for Shadow Ball. If they go for Protect and Landorus, I think I lose, but if I get that turn wrong on a turn they don't go for Protect, like if I protected here and they Sludge Bomb and then protected after, I'd still be fucked. So we've killed the Landorus, at least that's huge. I'm preserving health. Okay, so Rillaboom. Now Rillaboom, if it Wood Hammers, I die. I instantly die, and it does look like they went for Wood Hammer, so I'm gonna die. There's no if and or but about it. I die here. That's great. Okay, so we lost the game. That's fine. We're 1-1 for the day. We're gonna get one more match in though, so we'll see you guys in our final game of the day. Peace out. All right, and for our final game of the day, we're gonna be trying to get a win against this Farigiraf Trick Room team. Now that Blood Moon does look pretty terrifying at the very least, but thankfully we have some really good offensive merit from the Iron Boulder here. I actually think this is an incredible matchup for it, so much so that I actually feel very confident that it will become our win con. But first, I do need to lead off with Entei and Shampoo. I think it gets me the best offensive benefit here. I will most likely need to Tera Ghost Pow yet again. I cannot see a world where I don't, because my goal should just be to target the Farigiraf as quickly as possible. It enables all of their offense, and if I'm due to that, the Boulder gets a very free win con. So we're gonna go for that. I think with my final mon will probably be, I like Hands a lot here actually. Hands should be really good at just trying to disrupt their team. Overall, just stalling through Fake Out turns if I can take out the Farig, which that is the big issue here. Because I don't know if I can take out the Farig though, I feel like actually one of these two might be safer. I'm not sure if I want to bring Fluttermane or Ogerpon though, but I feel like both have some serious merit here. For the sake of, I'm going to go with Ogerpon. I think that Ogerpon at least grants me a Spore immunity, which is nice. And on top of that as well, it's also a switch into their Ogerpon. So if need be, you know, I could last ditch just go for this. Also, it's a really good Tera option if they don't lead with Fake Out. I cannot imagine, though, that Incineroar does not lead off immediately with that Farigiraf, though. I feel like that is by far their only lead option here. Either Incineroar or Iron Hands Farigiraf, and then they're going to go with, like, Blood Moon and Filler in the back. Yeah, Iron Hands Farigiraf, that's fine. I'm very fine with this. We're just going to go for an Ice Spinner and a Sacred Fire right into the Farigiraf here. And I'm just going to hardline that Pokemon as quickly as possible. Actually, you know what? I think Flare Blitz is worth it. We're going to click Flare Blitz. And then we're going to click Tera Ghost, and we're going to go for Ice Spinner here. We are going to Mollywop that Farigiraf as quickly as possible. If they try and Drain Punch me, that's fine. They try and Wild Charge me, I'm fine with that too. They try and Volt Switch, so be it. They can't Fake Out my Entei though. They can no longer Fake Out my Chiampao. If they try and Drain Punch my Chiampao, they're also going to get Hard Walled. Their Farig should 100% die to this combination of hits. It might have been able to take a Sacred Fire or like Flare Blitz. I honestly do not know. I know Farig is an obscenely bulky Pokemon, and I'd rather just guarantee that we take it out. So if I have to burn the Tera to do it, I have to burn the Tera to do it. But Farig is a sneaky, sneaky Pokemon. I'm not letting that thing get around. So Ice Spinner does nearly half. That is perfect. And then Flare Blitz should completely eviscerate this thing. Their Trick Room is now gone, and they have no out to the team anymore. That was their out right there. It was their best enabler. It was the reason the Blood Moon had any merit in this matchup. And now it's gone. It's just magically gone. They're going to Drain Punch the Entei. Good play. They probably expected Tera normal. I don't know why. But there's no same. Actually, you know what? They probably expected Protect from POW, frankly. That's probably what they expected. But I'm okay with this too. I'm going to proceed to just go for the Sacred, well, for the Flare Blitz right into the Entei, because they now have no switch in now that Incineroar is in. And then, meanwhile, I'm going to go for, I could definitely go for an Ice Spinner as well. I could also just go for a Protect or a Haze. There's merit in Haze and Ice Spinner, I can't lie, as well. I'm just going to go for Ice Spinner for damage. We're going to go right into Iron Hand. It can't really Drain Punch through my GM POW at least. And Incineroar, I mean, I don't really care if it Drain Punches or if it Drain Punches my Entei. I meant to say Entei. I don't know why I looked at Fire type and thought it's Incineroar, but it's Entei. Regardless though, we're setting up ourselves really nicely for that Boulder win con here. We already should be pretty fine. I just need a Pokemon to die at this point, and it's looking like that will probably be the Iron, not the Iron Hand, the Entei. Better go for Tera on Incineroar. It's Tera Fairy actually. That's really good that they did that play. They probably did it in spinning a Sacred Sword. So I get why the read happened, but thankfully I do not have Sacred Sword in this team, and they're going to learn that very, very quickly. So Iron Hand does take an Ice Spinner, that's whatever damage. Flare Blitz will be the big heavy hitter here though. It should nearly kill if, oh, it actually just takes it out. Okay, perfect. This is why we click Flare Blitz, because Flare Blitz go and we just kill everything. I don't know why you people are so insistent on clicking Sacred Fire. It can miss. 95% equals guaranteed miss, so I don't know why you guys are making such bad plays. I'm fine with it. I'm very fine with it. We'll get brought down to Sash. That's perfectly okay, because now we have the Boulder. And the Boulder is about to start claiming every KO on this planet, because there's nothing they can do to stop it. They've lost their Fake Out Mon. Their other Fake Out Mon is currently on the field, and it's past turn 1. They're bringing in Ursaluna. Now, I'm very fine with Ursaluna coming in, because it has to make a very serious choice here. It can either Hyper Voice and, you know, do whatever damage it wants, or it can just not Hyper Voice and go for like a Protect here. And I'm kind of fine with anything. Even if they Earth Power, I still get a really hard hit with my Boulder plus POW right into that Entei, into the Incineroar. See, now I'm calling Incineroar Entei. But I get a really hard hit into that Incineroar first at least, and I can just be kind of okay. There's a very high chance Ursaluna does Protect this turn though. I feel like that's probably what they're going to do, so I'm just going to beeline right for it. There's no reason to go for Mighty Cleave into the Ursaluna of all things, so I'd rather just kill the Entei. Well, the Incineroar. Why do I keep calling it the wrong thing? I can't get this Mon's name right. Okay, perfect. Mighty Cleave kills. I'll be honest, I think that probably just killed anyway. The Iron Cleave wasn't at -1. Sure, we'll call it Iron Cleave. It's not even close to the right name, the Iron Boulder. It was not even close to -1 though, so I feel like it was probably just guaranteed kill. They will trade my Boulder. Boulder did its job though, because my POW can take this on, especially with the Ogre Pond in the back. They don't have a way to beat that, especially because they're Life Orb, and they're going to have to take an Ivy Cudgel as well this turn. So, honestly, I'm very fine with this. They probably brought the best team for the Boulder that they could have brought, frankly, because, I mean, their Boulder matchup truly was awful. And what you saw there, I mean, it guaranteed forced 1 kill at some point in this game, no matter what. And that's what it did. It just forced a kill on the Incin. And even if Incin managed to live, I honestly feel that Ogre Pond could have truly 1v1 this team at this point, because I could have just mauled through the Blood Moon and then proceeded to kill the Entei on the following turn, because Entei could not have killed me. The Incineroar could not have killed me. I'm just going to embrace it. If I keep calling it Entei, I keep calling it Entei. This is headache at 3:30 in the morning talking, so the point being, their Fire type go night-night, and it die. And I win game. So we're good with that. We're very good with that. POW's gonna Spinner. We're gonna Ivy Cudgel to pick this thing off afterwards. And then, yeah, that's the match right there. They can't really do anything about it. And Ogre Pond does what it does best, and it hits Hammer and win. So, perfect. We went 2-1 today. I'll definitely take that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did and you want to see more content like this, of course, make sure to like and subscribe. We're going to have a poll going up very soon, probably tomorrow for our next members video, because I do need to get that recorded before I go on vacation. So if you guys want to stay tuned for some extra members content, we just released a video a couple days ago regarding all of the best new Pokemon in Regulation F, and I have a bunch of ideas for next month's members video for, I guess this month now, because it is February 1st, as of literally the day I'm recording this. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Shout out to our current channel members, of course. We have Mia, Zeke Zero, Rao Sakura, Obo, Josh K Ultra Player, Incog M, our bigger fan Vincent Wee, and of course Rao. I'm sorry I forgot you at the end, Rao. Hope you guys enjoy the content though, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video, where we're gonna be using. I don't even want to acknowledge that I have this team built. I have a bad friend who told me to bring a shitty Pokemon. We will see you guys tomorrow for that shitty Pokemon. Peace out, guys.